An eagle dived for a rabbit, but met a hidden enemy. The morning sky blazed with hues of crimson and gold. The sun, a blazing orb, began its ascent, chasing away the remnants of night. A profound silence cloaked the vast wilderness below, broken only by the rustling of leaves and the gentle morning breeze. It was a time when the world awoke, stretching and yawning, and the animals stirred from their slumber, ready to face a new day. High above this tranquil scene, a majestic bald eagle soared effortlessly on thermal currents. Its keen eyes, piercing and sharp, scanned the earth below for any sign of movement. For days the eagle had patrolled the skies, searching for a worthy catch, but its efforts had been fruitless. The usual haunts of its prey were empty, leaving the eagle famished and frustrated. Today, however, promised to be different. The eagle could sense it. There was movement down there, something worth returning for. In the heart of the wilderness, a young cottontail rabbit hopped nervously through the underbrush. Its nose twitched, sensing danger, and its ears were alert, listening intently for any approaching sounds. For some days now, the rabbit had been living in constant fear, hiding in the deepest burrows and venturing out only under the cover of darkness. The threat was always there, looming in the sky, waiting for a chance to strike. As if summoned by the rabbit's fear, the eagle swooped down from its lofty perch, its keen eyes locked onto the fleeing animal. The rabbit darted through the brush, its white tail flashing like a beacon in the dim light, but the eagle was faster. With a few powerful strokes of its massive wings, it closed the distance between them. The rabbit's hope of escape dwindled with each passing moment. Suddenly, the unthinkable happened. The eagle, with a loud screech, folded its wings and plunged toward the ground. The air rushed past it, creating a whistling sound as it dived toward its unsuspecting prey, the rabbit. It was a terrifying sight, the embodiment of its worst fears swooping down to capture it. Its heart pounded against its ribs, its breath coming in short, sharp gasps. Instinctively, it veered sharply, narrowly avoiding the eagle's outstretched talons. The eagle, momentarily off balance, recovered quickly, its determination undeterred, adjusted its trajectory, its talons still extended, ready to snatch the rabbit. The rabbit, desperate to escape, zigzagged through the trees, weaving a maze of twisting paths, hoping to confuse its pursuer. The eagle, patient and relentless, followed, its keen eyesight tracking the rabbit's every move. It was a game of cat and mouse, played out in the vast arena of the wilderness. But little did the eagle know that its problems were just beginning. Deep in the emerald embrace of the forest, concealed by the dense foliage and shaded by the canopy overhead, the earth trembled ever so slightly. A tiny tremor, imperceptible to most, yet significant to those attuned to the secrets of the woods. Beneath the surface, a pair of cold reptilian eyes watched, waited, and tracked the movements above. Meanwhile, high above the chase, the eagle gained on its quarry. The rabbit's frantic leaps were becoming more labored, its breathing heavier. Fatigue was starting to take its toll, making its evasive maneuvers less agile, less sharp. The eagle, sensing its prey's weakening resolve, redoubled its efforts. Victory was within reach, and its hunger drove it forward. And then it happened. Just as the eagle's sharp talons were about to close around the rabbit, a sudden movement erupted from the ground. A large serpent, its scales glistening, struck with lightning speed, its jaws wide, revealing glistening fangs, shot forward. The eagle, caught off guard, twisted abruptly in midair, its powerful wings beating frantically. The serpent's strike was too quick, too unexpected. It grazed the eagle's leg, drawing blood. In a flash, the eagle found itself fighting not just for the kill, but for its very survival. As the eagle writhed in the sky, momentarily stunned by the serpent's venomous bite, the rabbit seized its opportunity. With a burst of adrenaline, it dashed across the forest floor, disappearing into the undergrowth. The immediate danger had passed, but the rabbit knew it was only a reprieve. It was wounded, scared, and exhaustion was pulling at its weary limbs. Safety for now was its only objective. The eagle, shaking off the shock of the serpent's attack, circled slowly in the sky. Its leg throbbed, the pain intensifying with each heartbeat. Venom coursed through its veins, sapping its strength. The realization of its predicament dawned on it. It was injured, alone, and still hungry. It considered retreating to its nest, seeking solace and perhaps healing. But the thought of facing the day without food, with its eaglet waiting for sustenance, spurred it into action. It needed food, and the forest, for all its dangers, offered that bounty. Below, the serpent retreated back into the shadows. It had struck true, but its victory was not absolute. The eagle, though wounded, was far from defeated. The forest echoed with the harsh cry of the eagle, a sound that spoke of both pride and pain, a testament to the fierce spirit of a predator refusing to yield. But it was a cry that also carried a warning, a cautionary tale whispered on the winds of the wilderness. The sun climbed higher in the azure expanse, its rays filtering through the leaves to create a mosaic of light and shadow on the forest floor. Time passed, measured by the play of light and the rustling of leaves. And the eagle fought to stay aloft, each beat of its mighty wings a battle against the draining venom. Its vision blurred, and the forest below became a confusing maze. It tried to correct its course, to steer towards a familiar landmark, but its injured leg hampered its control. Finally, with a last Herculean effort, it managed to land on a sturdy branch, collapsing as soon as it touched solid ground. The eagle closed its eyes, succumbing to the darkness brought on by exhaustion and the venom's insidious touch. When it awoke, it was to the sound of a gentle stream nearby. Groaning, it opened its eyes, squinting against the sunlight filtering through the leaves. Disoriented, it looked down at its injured leg, wincing at the throbbing pain that radiated from it. But amidst the pain, it could see that the worst had been averted. It hadn't fallen prey to the serpent's venom. With a Herculean effort, it rose to its feet, leaning heavily on its uninjured leg. It shook its head, trying to clear the lingering fog of dizziness. Now it knew it couldn't stay here. Its nest awaited, and its eaglet needed its return. But it also knew that it needed help, and the forest held neither clinics nor painkillers. Then it spotted it, a family of foxes, their bushy tails bobbing as they moved. Foxes were known to assist wounded creatures, drawn to the possibility of finding a meal. The eagle spread its wings, a silent plea for assistance, and waited. As the eagle waited, the forest came alive with the murmur of insects and the distant call of a woodpecker. The day wore on, and with it, the eagle's hope of aid began to fade. Just as it was about to give up, the foxes approached cautiously. They circled the eagle, their eyes gleaming with a mixture of curiosity and concern. After what seemed like an eternity, one of the foxes, perhaps the mother, stepped forward. She nudged the eagle's injured leg gently with her nose, then looked up at the eagle with what seemed like understanding in her gaze. Slowly, the fox family helped the eagle to its feet, and they started moving. They led the eagle to a clearing where a shallow pool of water lay nestled among the trees. The eagle lapped at the water, the cool liquid soothing its parched throat. Then, as if understanding the eagle's plight, the foxes led it further into the forest, disappearing into the thick undergrowth. After a trek that seemed like hours, they emerged into a small open space. In the center was a cozy den, partially hidden by a tangle of vines. The foxes gestured for the eagle to enter, and it did, collapsing onto a soft bed of leaves and grass. The foxes kept watch outside the den, occasionally glancing at the eagle, perhaps assessing whether their gamble would pay off. Days turned into nights, and under the watchful eyes of the foxes, the eagle slowly began to heal. The pain in its leg subsided, replaced by a dull ache. It ate small birds brought by the foxes, regaining some of its strength. Yet it knew it wasn't fully healed, and that its ordeal wasn't over. One crisp morning, as the first rays of sunlight filtered through the trees, the eagle rose unsteadily to its feet. It shook its wings, feeling the familiar rush of air that brought a surge of confidence. It was time to return home, to soar once more in the boundless skies. With newfound respect for the creatures of the forest, the eagle spread its wings and took to the sky. As it soared above the tree line, the wind whispering tales of freedom in its ears, it looked down at the forest. It saw the clearing where it had rested, where the foxes had shown kindness, and it felt a surge of gratitude. Below, the serpent slithered silently through the undergrowth, its cold eyes gleaming with an ancient, timeless wisdom. It had won a battle, yes, but the war of survival was unending. As the eagle disappeared into the vast expanse of the sky, the serpent vanished into the shadows, the silent architect of chaos, always watching, always waiting. The eagle, triumphant in the sky, had survived the serpent's wrath. But the serpent, too, had won a victory, reminding all who knew the story that even the mightiest could fall, that even in defeat there was strategy, that even in loss there was a place in the grand design.